Looking at trade, economic growth, and the outlook for the United States. Earlier today here in Washington, I asked Christine Lagarde, as the International Monetary Fund's managing director, about the impact of protectionist trade policies on global growth. How much do protectionist trade policies play in to your growth forecasts? In other words, if you look at growth in the mid 3% range, and if you were to take protectionism off the table as a global policy, where would that growth number be?
We would be certainly higher than 3.3%.
How much?
I can't tell you exactly by how much, because trade numbers are quite funny. If you look at the impact of trade restrictions or trade tensions, it's not monumental. But if you add to that market impact and, more importantly, the confidence impact, then it starts hurting, because people have been used to trade for many, many years now, and they've organized themselves. Companies have organized their supply chains in such a way that they can take advantage of the best labor forces, capital taxation regimes, and all the rest of it. So trade actually matters, both in terms of access to markets, but also in terms of framework within which companies organize themselves.
But if we had less protectionism, isn't it an exaggeration to say we could have, say, 4% global growth?
I don't know, because we have not actually factored in eradication of all tariff and barriers.
Right.
Because, for instance, let me tell you one thing. While we can probably forecast that in terms of products, in terms of services, we still have way too much tariffs and way too much non-tariff barriers. And our economies are moving towards services.
We have certainly the ongoing dispute between the U.S. and China, which everybody seems to be focused on. But I think Europe's important as well, particularly the U.S. and Europe. President Trump had a tweet last night, as a matter of fact, saying it's too bad the EU is being so tough on the U.K. and Brexit. So the European Union is likewise a brutal trading partner with the U.S., which will change. He says sometimes in life you have to let people breathe before it all comes back to bite you. What do you think that means, all comes back to bite you?
I have no idea. But what I very much hope is that the trade relationship between the US and the EU is solid, is consolidated, and is fair, and provides reciprocated benefits. Because those are two natural economic regions that should be allied together.
We at the same time have the disputes that continue over, most recently, subsidies to Airbus, which the president has complained about.
Oh, that has been a forever story.
It has. Is he right about that?
That subsidies in those two...
On the merits.
On those... I'm a liberal by background personally, and I can tell you that subsidies on both sides should just not exist. And they've been at each other's throat using, competition rules and anti-subsidies principle against each other to consolidate their position.
Does he get it right on some of those issues, in your view, in terms of...
Of course he does.
But, so do you have more of an issue with the how than the what, or...?
No, I tell you what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the possibly lasting impact that the threat of trade war can have on economies. Because, I've been in the private sector for 20 years of my life. You listen to policymakers and you take your decisions. You decide to open an office. You decide to set up a subsidiary. You decide to hire people on the basis of what you anticipate. So when threats are on the horizon, you just watch, you wait.
You're not sure, you're uncertain.
You're not sure where it's heading, so you don't do much of anything.
So how big
the US economy is doing absolutely fine.
It is.
Right, at the moment.
That's what the numbers show us.
Unemployment is down, growth is reasonably high.
So why did you guys downgrade your forecast even for the US and your global growth outlook?
Well, because remember last year we had the Job and Tax Act, which clearly has operated as a big stimulus on the economy. And so did that fiscal stimulus that was decided as well last year. So that has had a big impact last year. We think that the US economy is still doing more than potential at the moment under our forecast. But the fiscal stimulus is abating because it doesn't have forever impact.